Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Free Webinar Series by Wholistic Hounds. My name is Morgan Fitzgerald, and I'm a holistic dog groomer and animal Reiki practitioner, originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and currently residing in Central Oregon. As I'm sure you've noticed, today we have a very special guest, the cat lady, Katie from the UK. Everyone, welcome, Katie.
Hi guys.
Okay, so
Wait,
she's going
yeah.
to talk to you about aromatherapy for cats, and I'll start off with aromatherapy for dogs. Aromatherapy is the use of aromatic substances for improving overall health and well-being. Aromatherapy can aid in relaxation, it can enhance the immune system, and it can improve health. Aromatherapy utilizes essential oils, plants, herbs, and flowers primarily, but today we are focusing on the use of essential oils and hydrosols. So, how does aromatherapy work? When a scent is inhaled, messages are sent through the nervous system to the limbic system. The limbic system is the part of the brain that controls emotions. It then enters the pet's body and bloodstream and gets distributed to various tissues. Because the olfactory sense or the sense of smell is extremely strong in dogs, then a less is more approach is preferable. Essential oils and hydrosols can be used topically, diffused, and inhaled. Hydrosols are even safe to ingest. Essential oils should only be ingested under the supervision of a holistic veterinarian. So, because there's a lot of fear surrounding aromatherapy for pets, we're kind of here to dispel some of those fears and to equip you with the knowledge that you need to safely apply aromatherapy for animals. And the most important is to source quality oils. And so for us here in the United States, that means purchasing certified organic oils. A quality oil will have gone through a third-party testing to ensure that it's free from contaminants such as heavy metals and pesticides. So you definitely want to avoid using fragrance oils or low-quality oils, which are usually adulterated. Those oils they do not have therapeutic value, and they're often contaminated with substances that you don't want to expose your animal to. So the second tip is to use pet safe oils. There are some oils that are toxic to cats, dogs, and other animals. So you want to be sure to use only the oils that are pet safe. The other thing is to make sure that the essential oils are properly diluted. So essential oils should never be put on an animal's skin. It always needs to be diluted with a carrier oil. And we'll talk later on about some appropriate carrier oils to use with canines. And the last tip, but perhaps the most important, is to utilize self-selection or kinesiology aromatherapy whenever possible. And so this allows the animal to get away from the aroma or the scent if it's too much for them, and it allows them to choose the scents that they need. So again, as I said, specifically with canines, but all animals, a less is more approach is preferred since essential oils are volatile compounds. They're extremely strong. So often you need a lot less than you would think. So whenever in doubt, you can use organic hydrosols. Hydrosols are a water-based substance that are the byproduct of steam distillation of essential oils. So they are highly dilute, they are gentle, and they're only subtly aromatic. So they're very good to use with dogs who may be fearful or afraid. So essential oils, the top essential oils for dogs would be lavender, chamomile, frankincense, myrrh, cedarwood, and rose. And the ones that are specifically good for emotional distress would be lavender, chamomile, and rose. And again, as I mentioned, there are certain oils that you want to avoid with dogs and with other animals. So some of the ones to avoid are wintergreen, clove, pennyroyal, tea tree, yarrow, and wormwood. Some appropriate carrier oils that you can use to dilute your essential oils would be sweet almond oil, coconut, jojoba, avocado, or hemp seed oil. And again, I mentioned the proper dilution ratio is important when utilizing essential oils with animals. And so the general rule is that the essential oils should account for only about 1 to 2% of the total solutions volume. And so again, you want to use a less is more approach. Sometimes 1, 2, or 3 drops is enough to get the therapeutic value out of the essential oil. Aromatherapy can assist with a number of different ailments in canines and other pets. And so some of the ailments that aromatherapy can assist with are allergies, anxiety, burns, congestion, cuts or scrapes, fear, flea and tick infestations, general detoxification, grief, hyperactivity, insect bites, itchy skin, skin infections or irritations such as hot spots, and a weakened immune system. If you are wanting to utilize aromatherapy for health ailments, then you definitely want to consult a holistic veterinarian. So, some key takeaways, just to sum everything up for aromatherapy for canines, is to make sure to use only the highest quality oils, or in the case of us here in the US, that would be purchasing certified organic oils. So a great supplier for those of you that are in the US would be Mountain Rose Herbs. They have a great selection of certified organic essential oils, and they also supply herbs and other ingredients for natural health solutions. So you want to avoid the likes of fragrance oils or low quality adulterated oils, and apply kinesiology or self-selection whenever possible. And a key here is to observe their reactions to make sure that you're allowing for choice. So for example, if an animal turns their head away from a particular scent, then that's a key indicator that that's not a scent that they're preferring. And so you want to make sure to honor that. Allow the animal to have a choice. We definitely have the potential to overwhelm dogs, especially with scents. So we want to take that less is more approach. Any sneezing, rolling, or rubbing are all signs to avoid that aroma. And it could also be a sign that you haven't diluted properly. So consult a certified canine aromatherapist or a holistic veterinarian if you're ever unsure. But the safest option to avoid any potential negative responses would be the use of hydrosols. Because hydrosols are very gentle, they're much more appropriate to utilize with animals. So again, essential oils, they just must be properly diluted. You want to make sure to use the ones that are pet safe. And I kind of just went through the top ones, but for hydrosols for canines, the top two would be lavender and peppermint. If you are looking for more information about aromatherapy for pets and how to use it safely, then I would recommend the book Holistic Aromatherapy for Animals, and it's by Kristen Lee Bell, and you can most likely purchase it on Amazon. Okay, so we went through the brief synopsis of aromatherapy and a little bit for canine specifics. So I'm going to turn things over to Katie now, and she's going to talk to us about aromatherapy for cats. Welcome, Katie.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm debating, I did write a presentation, but I'm debating whether to use it now because I've got some points to add to what you've already said there. But I think I will share it and I'll just go through it very quickly. So just bear with me one sec while I just grab it. So can you see that? Yeah?
It's still
Great.
loading. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, great. So so just quickly about me. So I'm a holistic mobile cat groomer, feline therapist based in Liverpool in the UK, and I've been doing this since 2020. So as well as studying cat grooming, I've also studied feline behaviour, animal healing, animal Reiki, nutrition, anatomy, physiology, traditional Chinese medicine, and acupressure. My business has grown and we're now a team of 3, and I'm just getting ready to really start selling herbs for cats in the UK, to really work on their enrichment and helping them live their best lives. So I find a lot of people already really focus on dogs and horses. They get a lot of support. They're kind of more working animals, so they have jobs. So that's why they seem to get a lot more support than cats, who are kind of more there just for kind of a pet. So it's like a different, you're coming at living with them from a different perspective. So you might have like an assistance dog, and not many people have an assistance cat. Most people just assume that cats just need food, water, and shelter, and they don't consider their other needs, of which they do have lots. They're absolutely fascinating. I am learning more and more about them every day. So in the UK, 34% of UK households own a dog, compared with 28% who own a cat. But we have so few cat professionals, and I imagine the statistics are very similar in the US. Plus, I just love cats, so why would I not work on them? So when it comes to cats, so human beings have around 4 million smell receptors. Cats have somewhere between 40 million and 100 million. And I think dogs, it's more like the 100 million. So they have a much more refined sense of smell than us. Cats also have what's called the Flehmen response. So they do that sneer face where they kind of go, when they smell something that is kind of more like a pheromone smell. So they have a scent gland that's kind of the bottom of the nose and the roof of the mouth. So when they do the sneer, they're kind of opening their mouth. Horses do it as well, to let the smell come in and go to that other organism, organism, the vomeronasal organ or the Jacobson organ. So there's two different ways that cats use their sense of smell, and they're processed by two completely different bits of the brain. So because of this, I tend to stay away from essential oils because I find them too strong. So I stick with hydrosols, which we've already talked about. I use dried herbs, homemade remedies, and macerated oils, which is where you infuse something like sunflower oil with the dried herbs, and it's very dilute. I also work on a self-selection basis, so I let the cats choose. I don't add it to food, and they've always got plain water available, so I know that if they're drinking water that's got a hydrosol in, for example, it's not because it's the only water source available, so you're always giving them that choice and you're not forcing them to do it. So we've already talked about how hydrosols are made from the steam distillation of essential oils. They pack in loads of the dried herb, steam is put through, and just a couple of drops come off for the essential oil, and then the water comes out of a separate bit. So if you think about making vegetables, a lot of people use the water that the vegetables have been cooked in because a lot of the good nutritious value has leached from the vegetables into the water, and then you can use that to make stock, and it's very tasty. So think of hydrosols kind of like that. They're a much less concentrated version, but still with all of the amazing properties that the plant has. So I sometimes spray my ankles and my wrists before grooming with something like rose. I also have added, so in the picture here, there's 5 different hydrosols in water where it's just a couple of drops in the water. The cat can smell it, the cat can drink it, it's totally safe. It's a very, very small dilution that you're adding there. And it's much kinder for cats. There's no risk of them getting poisoned by anything, which is fabulous. So I've made my own homemade macerated oils, which are the ones on the top right, out in the sunshine. So you leave them to steep for about 6 weeks. You invert the jar every time you walk into the kitchen, and then drain the herbs out, and you can use them. And I use them here to make tasty biscuits for one of my cats, Eris, who really liked it. So you get the double use, you get the herbs and the macerated oil. I also make a calming spray that I use before grooming if the cat likes the smell. I make an ear and eye solution to clean them because I find a lot of products for cats have a lot of chemicals in if you look at the ingredients list. And I don't like using anything that has chemicals where I don't know what the name of that is and I don't understand why it's in there. So I make my own with hydrosols and distilled water. And then for cats, I tend to use hydrosols in aloe vera if they need a topical. So again, it's really dilute. Aloe vera is not harmful for cats, and you just use a tiny little bit. So again, that's a really nice way to do it. This was a cat called Smokey with a little bowl of a macerated oil. I'm pretty sure it was rose. He had a lot of congestion and a lot of respiratory problems. So I find that he wasn't so interested in all the dried herbs. He completely ignored them. But what he did want was it in a macerated oil form so he could ingest it and then get the benefits that way. It's also really high in nutrition. So it's another way that you can try working with cats in a safe way. You can usually use botanicals alongside pretty much all medications. So pregnancy is one, and the other one is if they are on SSRIs. the like Prozac or a mood stabilizer, you might want to check if you're using something like St. John's wort, because there can be contraindications, but most of these botanicals don't. It's just lovely to watch the cats interacting with them, a lovely way to enrich them and to show clients how to kind of work with cats without it being kind of like woo-woo, which is a nice way to introduce those people who are skeptical. You can actually put some herbs down or spray some hydrosol in the air and see how the cat reacts. And if it's positive, it's really lovely to watch the owner going, I've never seen my cat do that. I always want to associate what I'm doing with pleasure and a nice experience. A lot of cats are very suspicious of new people and new situations, so it's a lovely way to kind of introduce and show this is a nice, safe place that we're going to work. I have also randomly worked a lot with alpacas, of all things, with essential oils and hydrosols, as well as using foraged, that's willow in that one, that they absolutely adored eating dried willow straight from the tree. I've also worked with birds, reptiles, snakes, farm animals. You just have to think about factoring in, if you're going to use anything on the skin, you need to look into the dermatology. You need to think about their grooming habits. Anything you put on a cat, they're going to lick. So you just need to be really, really careful. Like I say, I don't use essential oils at all with cats. I stick to hydrosols just because they are going to ingest it. Different species have different scent preferences, and then you're going to need to know what is the behavior of animals to show that they like what they're doing. So with cats, let me just, have I stopped sharing now? Give me a little. Fabulous. So with cats, you're looking for things like they might lick their lips, they might roll around, they might do that phlegming where they go, it's like that sneer, and you think it's a bad thing, but it's not. It's just them taking it in a different way. They might groom. They might, with cats, they might initially turn away and then give them the chance, because they often come back. So don't just think, oh, my cat's turned away from me, they're done. Be patient. They might walk away and come back, and allow some processing time for them, which is really important. I find with cats, if they're not interested, they will literally just walk out the room. That's the biggest sign that a cat is not into what you're doing. I always give them space, so I never lock them in a room with me. I don't use diffusers. I always make sure that the room is well ventilated, so again, the cat can move away as and when they need to, and it should probably be the same with dogs.
Absolutely.
So cats are great. Rose is lovely and mild with cats. Cats go mental for valerian. Humans find it a bit stinky. It's from the root, but cats just adore it. Catnip is another one, but it is genetic based. So not all cats will respond to it, because if they don't have the gene, then they don't recognise it. I also find calendula, English marigold, is a lovely one. Comfrey is another great one, and chamomile, similar with dogs. So if your cat's itchy and scratchy, or is showing anxiety, using chamomile is a lovely one. It's so mild. Okay. I've also seen people I know have herbal teas, and sometimes the cats are really attracted to the tea and want to get to the tea bag. If you've got a proper herbal tea, you can leave them some of the cold water to have a little play with as well. Just make sure there's no chemicals in the tea bag. And I don't recommend using blends. I recommend using one at a time. So then you know exactly what your cat is attracted to, and they're getting what they want when they want it.
All right. Thank you so much for everything that you shared and being a part of this. I actually learned something myself. So please, everyone, thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned, because next time we'll be talking all about herbalism for cats and dogs, where we can go a little bit more in depth about some of the things that she was mentioning as well. So thank you so much, and we'll see you at our next webinar.
Take care.
Thank you again.